All right, guys, it's our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
18?
8, no, 19?
19?
Hour 19. It is hour
What time is it?
19.
Yeah.
We're getting closer. I still can't believe all of you are following along. Today has been so crazy in so many ways. Taylor Kelly, LFE going strong. I feel so loved that you guys want to follow in this journey with me today.
Like, why give up now, though? Like, you're
I mean, true enough. Why give up now? If you're 19 hours into this,
You're in
it's
it
like,
for the long haul.
you might as well say you did the full 24 hours with me at this point. Okay, well, we have a very special guest on this hour. He is like one of the most brilliant humans. I'm going to bring him on right now. Hello, Mr. Adam Roa.
What's up, Miss Lindsay?
Okay, so I have to brag about myself for a minute. I just made Eric and Jessica. This is Jessica. Jessica, meet Adam.
Hi.
What's up, Jessica?
Eric, Adam.
This is a hug.
I just made them
So
cacao, and I knocked it out of the park.
A plus.
Yeah, I got some right here.
Hi.
Play some cacao right here. Shout out to my girl, Fly Cacao, Mackenzie, doing really great work with the cacao that she does.
It is delicious, and I'm getting better. I'm getting better at making this.
I believe you have the kind of mind where whatever you decide you're going to get better at, you get better at. I
That's
think
true.
so many people are celebrating you today. You're that person.
It's been quite a crazy day. It's hour 19. We decided?
I think so, yeah.
Did you get? I sent a package. I sent a gift that arrived earlier in the AM.
I looked everywhere for this package, but there's no package. Unless it got delivered to another porch, but we just checked the mailbox. There's no package.
It's unfortunate. I have to make some calls. Anyway, congratulations. Congratulations on your album launch. It's doing well. Everyone's loving it. You're on billboards all around the country, around the world. I don't know. That's
It's
awesome.
a little crazy. I didn't really know what to expect this day, but I feel overwhelmed with love, and we are all slightly delirious because I didn't really take into account like the long day I had before this 24-hour live started.
Someone
So,
someone should have said you should get some sleep.
yeah, I know.
Where's
I
your
know.
team? Eric, Jessica, what's going on?
Hey, I had 3 hours sleep myself.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't have much either.
they're not good examples in that department.
Got it. And have they stayed up the whole time too? No naps?
Oh, yeah.
They are in it.
Little micro naps.
And Chip here's too. He just went home to feed his dogs, so
Got it.
I have the 3 of them who are staying up the whole time. So Adam Roa, I want you to tell my audience what you do. I would love you to recite some poetry. I mean, we can talk about whatever you want to this hour, but those are my first 2 asks and wishes.
Got it. Oh, right. Just put me on the spot like that. Huh?
Yeah. I
All
mean, it
right.
doesn't have to be in that order, but you know.
This is where you're 19 hours in and you go, I'm just going to have the guest do everything.
Pretty much.
Got
Pretty
it.
much, yeah. My mental capacity is slowly dwindling.
Cool. Well, all right. I'll make a deal with you. So I will explain who I am and some of what I do, and I'll share a poem. But I actually wrote down a list of questions that I have for you here, because I think that as much as people don't know who I am, people are here for you. And so I have some questions that I would love to ask. How's that sound?
Okay. That's
Deal?
a deal. That's a deal.
Perfect. So, yeah, what's up, everybody? My name is Adam Roa. I'm just a dude that's choosing love in each moment the best I can, and that often comes out in the form of art, music, and poetry and filmmaking. I've done a lot of different things, and one of the ones that I would say most people know about is a poem called You Are Who You've Been Looking For, which I will deliver here. And this one, we're going to dedicate to Miss Lindsay L, because you continue to pour out so much love into the world. And literally you could be off in COVID aside, you could be off in the Bahamas celebrating the release of your album, and you are pouring out even more value for 24 hours to the detriment of your own health and everyone around. So, so thank you for doing that. And so I'll share this poem with everyone. It is called You Are Who You've Been Looking For. And I invite you all to take a deep breath in and exhale. You are who you've been looking for. So stop looking for more unless you're looking in a mirror, because it's about time for you to see clearly that you are who you've been looking for. And that empty feeling you got, that hole in your chest, you only got that feeling because you think you're not blessed with everything you need. You see, we live in a consumerist society, which means they need you to buy stuff. And the easiest way to sell it is to tell you you're not enough. Buy this car, you'll get girls. Buy this bra, you'll get guys. And we're seeing it so much that we start believing these lies. But the truth is, the makeup they're selling to make you feel prettier is the same makeup you buy to stop feeling shittier about these lies they keep telling you, that you are not enough. And what about all the movies we watch, all the shows on TV? The more I watch, the more I see I need you to complete me. And yes, love is the answer. Love is the key. But if you can't love yourself, how can you ever love me? And loving yourself, what does that even mean? Like massages and selfies and that sort of thing? Because the more I think about it, the more it feels weird. I've always thought self-love was something to be feared. I've been taught that arrogance is bad and vanity, it's not good. And even my bracelets are telling me to act how Jesus would. So what should I do? How should I act? I'm supposed to love myself, but how do I even do that? Well, I got a trick that I picked up from a friend who noticed that I was quick to when she would say something negative about herself. She'd say, I'm so dumb, and I'd say, you're so brilliant. She'd say, I'm so weak, and I'd say, you're so resilient. And when she said, I feel ugly, and I said, you look beautiful, she asked me why I was so dutifully filling up her cup constantly, and yet treating my own cup so irresponsibly. Because when I looked in the mirror, my voice was quite clear. You're ugly, you're too thin, your hairline's receding, and you got a pimple on your chin. And that was when she gave me a piece of advice that changed my life. She gave me a hug, and she said, treat yourself like someone you love. Treat yourself like someone you love. And now I had been standing, but I needed to be sitting because I couldn't believe that I had been letting myself keep forgetting that I was who I'd been looking for. And deep in my core, I knew it was time to stop looking for more until I could look through all my fear and look into a mirror and see clearly that the man looking back at me is the only one who can make me happy, and I am already enough. And I'm not any more special or unique than you. That's why I'm here to speak to you. You are already enough. And when you start to see that, you will start to be that. Your world will get brighter, your load will get lighter, and you can see that with life, you can be a lover, not a fighter. And that life, you deserve it. Because you are worth it. And there's no point in letting yourself keep forgetting, because no matter what you say or do, you are perfect. And so today, I hope I leave you with a direction correction away from the flaws you see in your reflection. They aren't flaws to me. They are simply protection against all the doubts you have of your perfection. So start today. Take a good long look in the mirror and say, I am who I've been looking for. Take a deep inhale, everyone. Hold it at the top. Fall a little bit more in love with yourself right now. Exhale.
everybody is just sending hard eyes. Hard eyes, hard eyes, hard eyes, hard eyes, hard eyes. Y'all, meet the wizard, Adam Roa.
The wizard. That's it. He's the wizard.
He is the wizard. You need to go check him out, / everything he writes. Trust me, you will be completely obsessed with his wonderful brain.
Ah, thank you. I appreciate that. How are you doing in this moment? Like, how's your brain? How's your heart? How's your energy levels?
I'm good. I'm so much better now. This morning at about hour 6, it was a rough spot. My neighbor got super upset that we were loud, and then Instagram was having a little trouble bringing on guests, and so Eric and I had to drive to a remote location, and I was just like, guys, we have 16 long hours left to go or whatever. I don't know if I can do this. And then from that moment on, I mean, I usually never doubt myself, but it was a rough moment. And then it's been great. And now it's like we're in the home stretch. So I actually feel pretty good.
Great. Yeah, I've tuned in throughout the day on a couple occasions. And there was one moment where you were doing like a workout. It looked like strumming air guitar while working out. And I feel like she's asleep on her feet. And then there was another moment where you were meditating. I swear you were doing the sleep bob with your head.
Jess and I were meditating, and Eric was running our meditation. And yeah, there was a few times like the whole pendulum kind of got a little heavy. But we're almost there.
Yeah.
We have 5 hours left.
Well done. Well done.
Yeah.
All right, so people are really here for you, and
I don't know about that. I would beg to differ. They've seen 17 hours of me or 18 hours of me. They're probably kind of sick of me, actually.
Not enough. Let me see in the comments, everybody. Let me know if you would like me to ask Lindsay L some very in-depth questions so we can get some insight into her mind, into her soul on this live, because I think it would be fascinating, especially since she probably has no filter now because her brain is mush after all of these lives. Break her walls open. Yeah, absolutely. Look at you have fans. They're here.
Eric, thank you so much.
There you go. Yes, ask. Great. Awesome. Let's do it. See? Lindsay, are you going to deny the fans what they really want?
I mean, 1 is my best friend, Jillian. 2 is my other basically best friend, Eric, sitting here. So yeah, I guess let's do it.
Look at all these people. Marigold Frenchie, Peyton, 1567. All right, here we go. Let's go for these questions. Pick a number between 1 and, let's start with verse 7. 1 and 7.
1 and 7. 3.
3. What has been the hardest or most challenging part of this album release?
The most challenging part of this album release has been this 24-hour live stream. And I thought it was going to be so easy. And yesterday it kind of all hit me and I was like, why do I do this to myself? I mean, now having the feeling of almost being at the finish line, it feels so good. And I know this is why I do this, because just seeing everybody who's been with me practically all day, y'all are crazy. And Alexis is their team, Adam. Thanks, ladies. And so I know why I do this, but also it's just a lot. I never really choose the easy way to do.
Why do you think that is?
Because I feel like the easiest way is sometimes not as impactful. And I am always like, well, do the thing that will mean the most. And I'm never scared of a little bit of hard work or a lot of hard work, even when it means taxing my body and all of my friends' bodies too.
Do you believe that the most challenging way is generally going to be the most impactful?
Yeah, probably. Is that a inaccurate assumption?
I mean, it's whatever you want it to believe. I would say that for myself, I've definitely, I think a lot of people believe that the reason why, or have a belief that the hardest way is going to be the most impactful. But I think the reason why so many people believe that is because it comes from this place of feeling like we have to earn it. Like somehow if we didn't struggle, we don't deserve it. We don't deserve the rewards if it wasn't hard. And I think that is something that I know in my life that I've worked really hard to reprogram. So I'm not carrying it in the same way, because I made things really difficult on myself for a lot of my life.
I definitely agree with that. But like, for instance, today we've gotten to reach so many people and like put out content for 24 hours straight. And I don't think if we wouldn't have done something like this today that we would have had the same impact. And yet at the same time, it's been really difficult at moments. So it's hard for me to be like, well, if we didn't do it, I probably wouldn't have had the same impact.
Do you think it would have had less impact had you done 3 days of 8 hours each?
No, that probably could have been the same.
All right.
I mean, it's not like as much of a thing, I guess, 24 hours straight, but what?
Grandiose.
It's not as grandiose, sure.
Cool.
But we technically reach the same hours of content.
No one else has the balls to do what you just did, though.
But see, that's my ego. That's my ego being like, I got 24 hours?
Yeah.
Like, just
but
watch
also
me.
Wanting to be original. Someone saying, "Oops, too late."
True. Oops, too late.
All right. Lindsay, between 1 and 6.
4.
Since your new album is mostly about a breakup, how do you feel that you've grown as a woman, as a person since the breakup? And what have been some of the biggest lessons that you've learned since the breakup to now with this album coming out about it?
I should have known that Adam Rowe was going to turn this hour on me.
This is what the fans want to know. Fans, let me know if this is actually entertaining to you, because this is how I feel like I'm going to use the next 40 minutes.
I feel like since my last breakup, I have done the biggest deep dive into my soul that I ever have. And I have, for pretty much the very first time in my life, realized what I want and what I deserve, and how I need to love myself better, and how to take care of myself.
So for people who are watching this right now, because those answers, we hear those, right? We hear those quite regularly, but what has that looked like? Like, what have you learned about how to take care of yourself tangibly, practically in your life? How do you apply that now?
I feel like before, in a lot of my past relationships, I never would put my own needs first, because I thought that was being selfish. And I was such a people pleaser that I was so all about like making the other person happy. And if they were happy, then I was going to be happy. To then take a step back and realize that if I'm not taking care of myself, and if I'm not making myself happy, then I can't make somebody else happy. And your definition on even what those things are, or your placement on what those things are, is completely off. Like, you don't really have a tuned in navigation system to what can make someone else happy, because you can't even figure out what makes yourself happy. And so you're just like acting out of desperation, being like, well, I'll do this, and then I'll do this. And compared to, you know, being intentional and taking care of your own well-being, so that you then can look at a relationship and really see, you know, what it needs and how you can nurture it the right way.
And so what's the number one thing what's made the biggest difference? Is it something that you do daily? Do you do it? Has there been a shift in your behavior that's made more of a difference than anything else?
Yeah, I take my own happiness into consideration first.
In all ways.
I love this dude.
Love you too, Eric. Filipino brother.
I want to say yes, but that's probably not an honest answer, because I know myself. But I know that before, the amount that I really took my own needs into consideration was very, very minimal. And so the fact that I have moved that to probably 5% consideration of my own needs to 85 or 90% consideration of my own needs first is like a very significant amount of growth.
Mm. And so what would be the piece of advice you have for people who want to move from 20% to 50%? Like if they want to up level that in their own lives, what would be the advice that you have for them?
I'd say, you know, even at the beginning of this year, I think I was still pretty cloudy with that percentage. And quarantine has been such a blessing to me, because I'm just so used to being so busy all the time that I don't even think about things like that and really like take time to sit with how I'm feeling. And I just got so used to last year just going from the next thing to the next thing to the next thing and surviving, that it didn't become a question of okay, but how do I really feel about that? And what do I really want to do? And what would make me happy? It was more just like, okay, well, I'm going to play this show and I'm going to go do this, and I probably should go do this, and I'll just say yes to everything because that's going to make my career grow faster. And that's not even an accurate statement, but I was just so busy all the time that I didn't even have a filter to really understand how I felt about things. So I started journaling and I started meditating every day as like a practice. And it was a game changer. And I always used to do it sporadically, but I like dedicated myself to it. And it was a game changer.
Yeah, something that I talk to a lot of my online community or my podcast community about regularly is that self-love is actually the result of your relationship with yourself. You know, when you think about getting to know someone, there's an innate unconditional love for them as a human being, hopefully. But then if you think about falling in love, for example, that requires getting to know someone. It requires creating space to spend time together and to ask questions and really go in depth into the psyche, into the soul of another human being. And yet so few people do that in relationship to themselves. And so when you say meditation and journaling, which are two of the biggest things that I do in my life regularly, it's also about creating those containers to say, I'm going to actually sit in silence with myself, or it's just going to be me and a pen, and the pen writing onto paper is actually me in conversation with myself. And if I think if people spent more time just developing a relationship with themselves, they would naturally start to see the things that they don't like, and they could work on those, but they would also start to see the things they do like, and they could build on those. And as a result of that relationship, we would see more people develop connection with themselves, and that connection with themselves can evolve into love at deeper and deeper levels. So I'm really grateful that you spoke to journaling and meditating. This is very, very key things.
They're completely key things. And even like not committing myself to them, like you have to do yourself the favor of like the dedication, or at least I did, because being so sporadic about it, it's like they are magical keys. And when you are consistently checking in with yourself, that's when the magic happens. I mean, I used to meditate, but I wasn't like, I am going to do this every day. And it wasn't until I started doing it every day that I actually started hearing things.
Beautiful. Well said, Lindsay L. Pick another number, 1 through 5.
Oh my gosh. I should have had questions prepared for you. 2.
How have you grown musically, which ties into personally, I know. So how have you grown personally and musically between your last album and this one?
I feel like musically I have become so much more brave to cross boundaries that I would have been really scared of crossing before. And a lot of that is through having an incredible producer who was able to shine light in the area that I could run and just help guide me to go there. And because of that, I feel like I've become a lot braver in my personal life as well. And becoming a different singer and a different guitar player and a different artist through a record seems like a lot of things to cross off, but I feel like I've truly taken a huge step in the direction that I've always wanted to go. And I made a record I'm really proud of.
You should be. It's fantastic. And so in terms of when you say you're so much braver musically, right? That implies that there was some level of fear that previously you weren't willing to face or overcome, like that you were holding back to some degree. And for a lot of people who may not be musicians or artists in the traditional sense, they're like, but you're so talented. You can sing, you can play guitar, you can write amazing songs. What was that fear? Like now when you're looking back and you're realizing how much braver you are because you're facing it, what was that fear that you can see in hindsight that was holding you back?
I've always wanted to work with Dan Huff as a producer, and yet there was like this part of me that was kind of scared to do so, partly because I'm so loyal with even past relationships and working on my last record, and I felt like changing producers was going to be disloyal to my last producer, and I was really nervous about making that change. And yet business wise, to look at a project and to navigate, okay, sometimes you need to grow in different areas, and that means hiring different teams and different people to help you grow in those directions. And so it was really embracing that and feeling okay with it, and knowing that, I mean, I work with the most incredible humans ever, and when you share your heart with them, that they get it, and it's part of this industry. So it was really having the bravery to step into that, as well as creativity is such a vulnerable thing. Like it's not the same as, to me, it's not the same as like an athlete and training really hard every day and like trying to get a few seconds shaved off of a time. Like creativity is like this tender place in your heart that you have to be okay with like completely exposing. And it takes a lot of courage, because when you expose your tender feelings, people can stomp all over them, and that's scary. And you just kind of have to get to the place where it's like, this is me. And if people stomp all over it, then this is me. And
All that
and
self,
huh?
all that work on self-love helps.
That
Helps
is so
people.
true.
I don't really care as much about what you say any longer.
Yeah.
And everyone who's listening to this, here's a fun artistic challenge for all of you. You're obviously going to go stream and buy Lindsay's new album, Heart Theory. That's a given, I imagine. And I recommend that you go back and listen to her first album. Go back to listen to the album as well and see if you can spot the growth. Actually turn that into almost like a exercise for yourself. Can you spot what Lindsay's talking about? Can you hear her growth as an artist and a musician, and know that it doubles up in supporting this wonderful woman? So for everyone who's listening there, go do that this weekend. All right, 1 through 4, Lindsay L.
Let's go with number 1.
What in this 24-hour window of the album coming out and the lead up right into it, last 2 days basically, what has been the biggest celebration moment? Like, what was the moment for you where it just really landed and you were overwhelmed and overcome with just celebratory emotion?
There's been so many moments today where I feel just completely surrounded with love. I mean, the fact that I have these 3 humans who will put themselves through hell to just be beside me and support me through my crazy ideas. I'm very grateful for just the humans I have in my sphere right now. And I mean, in that moment of my weakness, when I normally don't doubt myself, and in my pursuit of whatever I'm chasing, I'm just like, I've got this. So in the moment of like my deep weakness opening up and being number 1 on all genres, it's just like, we work so hard. And like, I'm a dreamer, I'm a hopeless romantic. Like I think of all these things that could happen, and to see something like that I was not expecting was so flippin' cool. So flippin' cool. To be able to like hit that, even if it was for an hour, so flippin' cool.
So good. Celebrating you. Well deserved. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, we got 3 left. 1 through 3.
2.
Ooh, I like this one. Especially since we just talked about how you had number 1 in all genres, and we've gotten to see, following your stories, we've gotten to see these big billboards of you all over the place, and all of the people talking about you all over the world. How does it feel to be aware that you're blowing up? Like, I want to know from this, it feels like you're on the precipice of something very massive. It feels like there's a ball that is rolling now, and now there's evidence of something that was probably energetically already going, and your album's so good that I imagine it'll just continue to keep rolling. And I'm curious if there's any moments that feel really just too surreal, almost difficult to believe. Are there ways that you're preparing for this rise to stardom? I'm curious what that feels like, to be aware that it's happening and to be in it, because so few people get that experience.
I don't know if I'm ever aware of that. I feel like today has been so incredible, and I work so hard at putting my all into things, and still sometimes don't know if they're gonna happen. And is that a form of self-sabotage? Maybe. But like, I never really am like, oh, this is blowing up, this is gonna happen. I'm always like, I'm gonna try my best. and I know what I'm capable of, and I know what I want, and I will figure out a way to get there. But I never have the feeling of like, this is blowing up. Is that bad?
I don't know. I mean, when you hit number one in all genres, is there when will you say, oh yeah, this is blowing up? Like, what is?
When we can stay there all day.
Okay,
But
just keep
then is it like, well, can you stay there all
goalpost.
week? Like, I know I'm very good at moving goalposts.
Always aiming for higher.
We have talked about this. I'm very good at moving goalposts.
Well, I hope that you're taking time to celebrate it.
I'm celebrating the goalpost today. It's very, very good. But I don't think I ever say to myself, yeah, this is blowing up.
Why not?
Because I feel like it's like I still have so much further to go.
Do you get closer to it? If you just move the goalposts again, like, do you get closer? When you say you have further to go, like, is there a stopping point? Is there like, what are you measuring that based on?
I mean, that's a good question. I don't know if there's necessarily a stopping point, but I do feel like I get closer to something. You know, like the release today has been the most incredible release I've ever had for anything in my life, and that's definitely getting closer to a goalpost, even if it is moving.
Your fans like always want a castle. That's what you're saying.
That's true. I'm eating my own words.
All good. All right, we'll move on to we have two questions left. This is the final two.
Final
One or
question.
yeah, one or two.
One.
What do you hope people take away from your new album?
I want people to listen to Heart Theory and see the amount of work I went through over the past couple years to get to this spot I'm in right now. And I really hope that they can listen to this album and it can inspire them to dig for a deeper sense of self-love within themselves.
Amazing. I'm all about self-love. So thank you for making an album that's designed to have people love themselves more. That's great.
You're welcome, Adam Roa. You're welcome.
All right, well, we got one more question here. What do you hope to accomplish with your music in general? Like, why, out of everything that you could do, you're a brilliant human. Anyone who's spent any time with you knows your work ethic and knows your tenacity. And clearly, if they didn't know it before, you staying up 24 hours to do this promo for the album is an indicator of it. And I'm curious, like, why did you pick this particular path, and what do you hope to accomplish with your music? What is the legacy you hope that it leaves?
I feel so grateful that I can wake up every day and do what I love for a living. Like, I love playing music on stage in front of humans and hopefully making them feel a little bit better when they leave a venue than when they came. And yet in that gratitude, I also feel a responsibility to inspire people. Like, I think music is so powerful. I think art is so powerful to make a lasting change and to be able to inspire someone to take that deeper look within themselves. And I don't take that lightly, you know, whether it's making an album, whether it's playing a show. I mean, I want to leave people feeling better than when they came, or when they started listening to a song. I want to like leave them with something good to, again, like inspire them to dig a little bit deeper.
That's all the questions I had.
Okay, well then since you asked me questions, will you leave us with one more poem?
Ooh, will I leave us with one more poem? Yeah, let me think of a poem. I haven't recited, it's funny, I haven't been reciting poetry. I've been making music so much that I'm like, what is the poetry that I normally have memorized? And okay, let's do it, since we've been talking about self-love, right? So I feel like, give me one moment here. All right, one moment here. I feel like since we've been talking about self-love, it only makes sense to do another self-love piece, right? Like that would
I think
be
that's a wonderful idea.
that would
And I
that
know that
would
everybody has just already fallen in love with you, and so
oh, that's so sweet.
one more.
I love spoken word poetry. I think that for me, art is technology. I speak to this a lot, which is just that when we want to make a shift in our lives, when we try and go through the brain, we have all of these logical defense mechanisms. It's like going an Indiana Jones crusade through the mind to try and get ourselves to shift sometimes, because we defend ourselves and our behaviors, and we create our identity structures based on the belief systems that we hold, and anytime that we allow those belief systems to shift, it's like an ego death. The identity kind of crumbles and we have to rebuild, and that can be terrifying. It can be scary. But the thing about art is that it bypasses that. When someone listens to your song, or any of your songs, it makes them feel something immediately. If it's a poem, it's about how it makes them feel. And I encourage everyone listening to this, if there's anything that you can take away from the inspiration that Lindsay L is on this planet, it's that, expressing yourself bravely, courageously through art, which is very vulnerable. To do that is, it's so needed, and it can create such powerful impact. And so many people right now are trying to convince people to believe things by yelling at them or trying to talk to them about things or write it out. It's like, bypass it, make it into some art, and get people feeling again. And I believe that we have an opportunity to shift things at a very deep level. So this poem is called I Am Enough. And so I encourage all of you, if you're not driving, to close your eyes and receive this. Fall more deeply in love with yourself again, right? Keep doing it. Layers and layers. Take a nice deep inhale and exhale. I am enough. But enough of what? Every time I hear those words, it feels like they keep getting stuck up in my head, conflicting with all the words that I've said on repeat for most of my life. Yeah, I haven't been very nice to myself. From bottom to top, spent most of my life focused on why I was not enough. Flat feet, too slow. Chicken legs won't grow. Like self-deprecation was an occupation. I went pro long ago. And I know that the mind learns through repetition. And no matter how quiet I speak, it's always around to listen. Creating the vision of who I am based on my self-talk. So why not speak what I can and stop all the can nots? Because I got a lot of knots. I thought a lot of thoughts that brought a lot of nada, so I fought to make them stop and finally gave my ego what it wanted, and I told it what I am not. I am not dumb. I am not ugly. I am not giving up. I am not weak. I'll get back on my feet no matter how much I slip up. I am not broken. I am not afraid. And so when the going gets tough, I can see what I am not, and it reminds me I am enough. I am enough strength to overcome any obstacle placed in my way. I am enough courage to keep my heart open after heartbreak. I am enough will to get through any hard day. I am enough fun to turn all my work into play. I am enough pride to not be torn down by what people say. I am enough humility to own up to all my mistakes. And it doesn't take a special ability, just a perspective shift to go through this list and always remember this. For everything I'm not, there's something that I am. For everything I can't, there's something that I can. I can be happy. I can be free. I can be authentic. In fact, I'm already me. And I am so grateful for me and everything I am. So for the rest of my life, I'll do whatever I can to always remember that, yeah, I am not a lot of stuff. But there's one thing I am. I am enough. Nice deep inhale wherever you are on the planet. Fill yourself up with that breath. Exhale. Hopefully all of you today tuning in with Lindsay through the last 24 hours, listening to Heart Theory and hearing all of the love that has been poured into that album. I hope that your biggest takeaway is a reminder that you are enough. You are who you've been looking for. And that always, in all ways, you are seen, you are heard, and you are loved. The world needs your voice, people. Needs your voice, needs your art, needs your love, needs your heart.
Adam Rowe, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me on and sharing hour 19 with me.
Yeah, it was beautiful. And a round of applause for my people. Thank you so much for bringing your energy and lifting us up and filling up our hearts and our minds with your brilliant wizard words.
You're welcome. Thank you for making a dope ass album. Thank you for humbling Taylor Swift for an hour or two. And yeah, just really appreciate all that you bring to the world. Thank you to all the fans for continuing to support. It takes a lot of courage and vulnerability to put art out into the world. So make sure you shower this woman with lots and lots of love, flood her DMs and comments and all of the things. Jessica, Eric, thank you for holding it down there. And Chip, wherever you are in the world.
He's right here. He's back now.
Yeah, sending love to Chip as well.
You all need to go follow Adam. I know all of you were like sending hard eyes. I mean, even the girls who run my fan page say hashtag Team Adam. So they're like, does their Adam's page, follow him. You will love the content that he's putting out there. Go check out the Create community. I'm just an advocate of all things Adam. So go check him out.
Great. Well, I look forward to seeing, I'm going to be teaching and coaching and stuff in the Create community for the next several hours, but you'll still be here. You'll still be here spreading love and light.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere for the next 3 hours, 3 hours and 10 minutes.
Great. Well, I hope you get some sleep. Sending lots of love to everybody. Thanks for having me on, Lindsay.
Thanks, Adam. Mwah. Bye. What a wonderful, brilliant human. You were setting up, is that a sign?
I think so. Right?
Yeah, totally.
Right?
Yeah,
I felt it.
you definitely felt it.
I think Jesse's gonna
Eric set up the keyboard. He was just feeling it. This is a good moment to play that song. Should I play it over there?
Yeah, Jess is gonna be.
Well, oh, Jess is
Yeah.
gonna be our
It's the only free outlet.
got it. Okay. Cameraman Jess, camerawoman Jess. Should we flip it?
Do you wanna-
Oh no, okay, got
Do you
it.
want to share?
No, on the stand.
All right.
Oh gosh. The
Right.
only free got it.
The only
I
free outlet.
understand. Okay. Wow. Is this so I wrote a song called Make You. I know a lot of you probably know about this song, but this is a song I wrote about my story as a little girl, and yeah, good job playing that, Eric. Staring in the mirror, you still look so innocent, but that was all gone yesterday. At 18, you see it a little clearer. There's something that was taken before you could give it all. You feel dirty, you feel guilty for what was done to you. There'll be a canyon in your chest, but you can't undo. It's gonna make you hate yourself. You didn't hate yourself at all. It's gonna make you build the fortress where you never had a wall. It's gonna make you question God and wonder if He even cares. 'Cause it's so messed up, it's so wrong, it's just so unfair. Broken past what a broken heart can take. The cracks will heal, but you'll always feel the break. And that's what's gonna make you. At 20, hits you like a race car. Still feels like a new sky. One day you will try. At 25, you'll find the strength to say it. Even though you can't change it, it's peace and say it. You feel angry, you feel sad. You see it's not your fault. That canyon in your chest, the little girl you lost. It's gonna make you hate yourself. You didn't hate yourself at all. It's gonna make you build a fortress where you never had a wall. It's gonna make you question God, wonder if He even cares. 'Cause it's so messed up, it's so wrong, it's just so unfair. Broken past, what a broken heart can take. Cracks will heal, but you'll always feel the break. And that's what's gonna make you. It's gonna make you love yourself when you don't love yourself at all. 'Cause if you can get through that, there's no valley that's too tall. And all those questions you ask God are still gonna be there. 'Cause it's so messed up, it's so wrong, it's just so unfair. Broken past, what a broken heart is. Cracks will heal, but you'll always feel the break. That's what's gonna make you. And that's what's gonna make you. Aw, thanks, guys. What a great hour. You guys are making me so emotional. Okay, we're gonna take a few minute break. Whew, we're gonna save this hour and we'll be back in a few minutes.